Hi everyone, my name is Bill and in this video I'll be navigating the home screen in Photoshop and I'll also be explaining the basic things you need to know about the home screen in Photoshop. So without much ado, let's get into it. Okay, so when you first open Photoshop, you are going to be greeted with the home screen, and this is how the home screen basically looks like. But it might differ depending on which version of Photoshop you are using at that moment. Using. And just like the home screen on our phones, we don't really work here because on the home screen on your phone, you don't work there, you only open apps. So with the home screen of Photoshop, you are going to be opening where you'll be creating your projects. So the things you find here on your home page are basically your projects you've been working on. These are some projects I've been working on, and also some tools you can use to open up new projects. Yes. So from here, what you want to do is open up your workspace where you'll be working. So to open your workspace, all you want to do is click on the Photoshop icon here. Just like the way you click on apps on your phone, like Instagram and the rest. Just click on your Photoshop icon, and here it brings you to your workspace. This is where you'll be creating all your projects. And in later lesson, I'll teach you about all the things you see here. You don't need to be overwhelmed with all the different buttons here. I'll explain them all in a later lesson. So when you open your workspace here, it's very easy to start a new project. So when you want to start something new, all you can do is click on file here, and then you either click on new or open. And these two things do a different thing or different things altogether. When you click on open, it will open up images on your desktop or images you saved. So when you click on the image and open it, the image appears here. And when the image appears here, it's going to take up the size of the image, exactly the size the image was already in. So from here, this is going to be your background, and then you'll be working on it. And when you go to file and you click on new instead, with what new does is it's going to make you create the size you want to work on, the exact size you want to work on. So when we click on new, you see we have here different sizes. So you click on the size you want, and usually when I'm about to create a new project and maybe it's for something like Instagram and I don't know the size of Instagram, I just search it on Google and I'll get the size. So whereas posting on Instagram for portraits, there's a size. It's 1,080 by 1,350. So when I click on it, you see it changes the width and the height over here. So you can change it to whatever figures you want. You can change it to whatever figures you want. 1,500. You can change it to whichever figures you want, and you always want it to be in pixels. But you can make it in inches depending on what you are creating. Maybe if you are creating a banner or something, you can do it whichever size you want, and then you just click create. And you also have different things here, like if you are making art and illustration, poster, postcard, they already have preset sizes you can use here. If you are making prints as well, letter, whichever one you want, all you have to do is tweak the width and the height if you need to, and then you can use that size to create your project. So let's just pick the 1,080 by 1,350. Then you just click on create. And then when I click create, you see here I have an empty project. So here, when I now import something, it's going to take up the size of the size of the background I've created here. So when you have your canvas here like this and you want to open a new image on it, just come to file, then you come to place embedded. And then when you come here, you click on your image and then you place it on your canvas. And then now you see it doesn't take up the size of my picture, but it takes up the size I previously created. So you're going to have it over here, and then you can work on your project. So there are also different ways you can open it, which are very simple. So now when you are here and you want to go back to your home screen where we started at first, you can go back by clicking here. And then now when you come here, you can clearly see there are two things here, create and open. So if you don't want to open by clicking the Photoshop icon before going into create, you can just use these buttons over here, which is create new, and then you can select the size you want to create, or you can just click open and then it brings you to your images, and then you select whichever image you want, and then you open and then you start working. And then here you have all your recent projects, so you can arrange them how you want, how you prefer. So you can click this icon and then it arranges them in line for you, and then when you click the square, it makes them this in this format. And you can also arrange them according to their name. So when you click according to their name, it's going to start from the bottom with the smallest, that's A, B, C, up to the last letter. Mine is W here. You can arrange them according to their size. So it's going to start from the biggest size to the smallest, 2 kilobytes, and the biggest here is 170, 117.4. And you can also, according to kind, here when you arrange them according to kind, PNG is the kind that comes first, then the Photoshop kind, and then your JPEG will also continue. All these are things you understand in later lessons, but I usually like to arrange them according to the recent. So here you can see that the image I opened has appeared here. So that's what happens at the home screen. Whatever image you open is going to appear here, whether you save it or not. So when I open a new file, when I open a new file and I finish working on it, you can come here and save, which I'll be showing you in a later lesson. You can save it here, save as or save. You can save it, but even if you don't save it and you come back to home screen, you realize it appears here. So whatever project you work on, whether you save it or not, will appear on your home screen. Okay, so in our next lesson, we are just going to be learning about the workspace. That's all the things you see here. All the things you see here, I'll be explaining them to you in our next lesson. So hope you understood everything about the home screen. So from here you can just be practicing getting from your home screen to getting to your workspace and then working accordingly. So thank you very much for going through this lesson with me. See you in the next lesson. Bye.